Welcome back to Go Again Gaming, and welcome back to round four of the league. That means absolutely nothing three. I am your voice of the league, Ian Holland, and we are back in the 1-2 bracket today. We have a weird matchup. I'm not going to lie, some off meta choices for some off meta heroes. We have what I believe is Decimator Fatigue Olympia because, why not? It means nothing after all, taking on Sanskar Great Bow Azalea, if I am correct. Natras was the pilot of a Sanskar Azalea earlier, may still be on it. I know Carlota is also on it, and I caught some kind words from her about that deck in Battle Hardened Barcelona. Um, this should be an interesting one. Will Lynette be able to push damage through Olympia's wall of blocks as he goes four, 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 hammer for four every turn until as the ranger is chopped up? There's only one way to find out, really. So we'll throw it over to the gameplay and we'll see what breaks down.
Another sponsor for the League That Means Nothing Season 3. It's Az here talking about Void Games out of Crewe in Cheshire. Tom, Big Boss Book Club on Twitter, does run this shop, and he's had some fantastic events so far. He's had Skirmish Season, of course, the ProQuest as well that we streamed on Go Again Gaming. So just a fantastic shop that's got a lot going for it, and in the future it's going to have a lot more events as well, hopefully going forward. So make sure you go and check them out when you can. Pop in the store. It's a great little shop. There might be some images or videos flashed up here for you. But thanks for Tom for sponsoring the League That Means Nothing Season 3 and being an advocate for just casually gaming in all forms of different systems and different tabletop games. So yeah, cheers Tom, and let's get on with the tournament.
So we have John Lorenzo going first and has decided the best thing to do would be to declare a truce. After all, why should we fight each other? But it seems Lynette is not on Sanskar. Is that Redliner? Or is it Death Dealer? I can't make it out on her camera. Has she pivoted to the one true way? But, uh, you know, only one way to find out. That doesn't look like Death Dealer to me, but I can't be sure. Either way, we're explaining how a truce works to Lynette. And, Azalea only knows violence. This truce, I don't think it's going to hold. I think John is going to wind up with a 5 card hand for blocking. This list very different to the other Olympia that is in the league. That means absolutely nothing, which is Josh Lau's Centauri Sabres dual wield build. But Lynette going to lead off with an Azalea specialization, knock the death whistle. Exactly what you want to see in your hand on turn one. You want to be sending a nice, big, dominated asshole of an arrow. So whatever we find goes on top. Arrow, we reload, activate Azalea, bam, we've got our first arrow. Probably not going to be a red in the ledger, doesn't really do a whole lot, but it is in fact going to be judge, jury, and executioner. Even better. So this will force Olympia into either blocking or if they take damage while it has an aim counter on it. Right? Is it an aim counter? I think it is one of the arrows that is afflicted with aim counter problems. But anyway, when it deals damage in this situation, you have to discard down to 1 card in hand. Not great. Not ideal. Not what we want to see. We do not love it. Activating Azalea. Judge, jury, and executioner into play. into the arsenal with dominate. Ooh, we play point to the tip so that we don't need to crow's nest. We just get to give it +3 and an aim counter. Thus, we get to avoid the crow's nest interaction and can continue playing a super red line list. What are we pitching for this JJE? Because it does indeed cost a resource. Haslin, there we are. We are pitching Red in the Ledger, the other Azalea specialization. So when this hits, they discard all but one card in hand. Uh, Thankfully for Olympia, man has a bunch of armor. Like absolute bundles of armor. You know, 7 block in fridge, almost as much as Zen, by the same amount as Zen, which is ridiculous on the face of it. So we're going to present 3 and then standing order, where you will standing order the arsenal away to block a total of 8. Now, if Lynette had a Rain Razors, that would be very, very, very funny. Deeply funny. I would find that incredibly funny. It does not happen, though. I don't think it was possible. I think that was the entire 4 card hand. But I feel like we'll see that judge, jury, and executioner again at some point. Because you don't just, if you're building your deck around it, you don't play it. You don't mess around with it. If you're including it, you have things like memorial grounds, etc., etc., etc. Olympia, Madman, Sharp and Steel, Pitch, Warmongers, card that's actually good against Azalea, send in 7. I feel like John has decided to bring the crack and fat stack his deck as well. For those not in the know, the crack is fun in Irish, not even in Irish slang. So don't worry, we are not referencing hard drugs here on Go Again Gaming. It is simply a cultural thing here. Lynette doing the Azalea thing, taking 7. We're paying into grains of blood spill. Not that it does a whole lot, considering our main interactions cost 3 in fatigue Olympia. Oh, just always bringing you the exciting, hard hitting gameplay of smashing arrows into as much block as possible. Um, Over to Lynette, who appeared to be pitching for something. They're activating Redliner. It is Redliner. I'm right. I'm not a crazy man. 0 cost. Just put an arrow face up into your arsenal. We're going to read the glide path. We're putting a Remorseless, which has some pretty relevant text against such a defense heavy deck. And then we will activate Azalea, dropping a Bolton shot into play. So this is going to have Dominate and Go Again and On Hit Reload. Lynette making sure that went to the bottom. Okay, so we have Bolton shot, +3 and Dominate. So it has Go Again, On Hit Reload. So we are blocking here with a felling and sinking below. So that is one of many D-reacts you should expect to see, and we are in fact sinking a card. So we're preventing all of this damage unless, of course, Lynette has Rain Razors. It seems John has decided to forego this trigger, and we're going to load a Murkmar Grapnel +1 from Bullseyes and send it in for 5. And that is getting a little bit of block. We're blocking with Olympia's signature card, Up the Ante, possibly the only powerful card in Olympia's toolkit, but no comment. So we have our Vigor creating a resource, 2 card hand, Sharpen Steel, plays Sharpen Steel and Decimator for 7. That Vigor is just going to float into a Vigor. I would put all my money on that. I really doubt we're cracking our Galea or something insane. So we are going to Skullbone Crosswrap. And let's see. And then immediately snap Azalea this card. We're putting in a Drill Shot. Great card now that our opponent has no arsenal. How many buffs we got? There's a good question. So we have our Dominate. We have a read the glide path. So we've got our +3. So we're at 7, which doesn't quite get us over the hump in terms of armor yet. Then we have Release the Tension, so no D-reacts from Arsenal. Not that it matters right now, but we're at big number 10. So 10 Dominate, not bad. So, yeah, Drill Shot, 10 Dominate. Does not have Piercing, for it does not have an aim counter. But 10 ain't bad. Nothing to sneeze at. Get to put a -1 counter on a piece of equipment. Kind of incentivizes Olympia to just yeet his equipment. Yeah. Taking 4, taking 6. Obviously, we're hovering in the reaction step here because Lynette still has access to Redliner, still has cards. Well, has a card. But yeah, 6 damage is taken. Sorry, 7 damage is taken. And where do we want to put the minus counter? Yeah, Grains of Blood Spill. Don't want to allow for multiple blocks on equipment, and we do have the Snapdragon Scalers. So Snapdragons, Redliner, Endless, Fire Endless. Sending another 4. Again, Olympia being incentivized to block. This is a great way to do it as well with the 2/1 block equipment. Olympia taking the 4. Endless coming back to hand. Card going into Arsenal. And Lynette cleaning up here. Solid turn. Okay, so we have our vigor turning into a resource. Axe for 10. Axe you a question. Okay. Block 6, which is really just a block of 5. So block 5, take 5. Getting some spare arrows out of the way. We're turning this. I've got to ask John, man, is this like a gimmick? Do you have things that cost 1? Or are we just floating the same vigor forever? Okay, flipping up a stone rain, knocking the death whistle. Getting our delightful red in the ledger, everyone's fave. Riddle on top, activate Azalea, red in the ledger into the arsenal, stoner into the bottom. We've got our dominate. So if this hits, no buff for Olympia, sending in 5 using tunic, I guess. 5 dominate. Only clean block here is a card plus the prized Galea. Lynette, please don't forget to pay for your red in the ledger. It costs 1. It costs 1. So we have 3 on the block here for John. And there's the Rain Razors up to 7. We might have missed our resource here. 7 dealt to John. He gets 1 action next turn. Seven thrown at John, 3 blocked, 4 dealt, 23. We have our floating vigor, 3 cards in hand, and we're just going to send a brutal assault. Command and conquer. Not really a lot we're doing with this here. Annette giving up 3 block, taking 3 overall. Obviously destroying her arsenal. That's why there's no arsenal there at all, of course. And not for any other reason, like she dumped her whole hand. But we're going to redliner in a oh, this is an encounter one. Anyway, take aim for +3, premeditate for 3. Just immobilizing shot. That's the one coming in for 10. Uh, thing is, I believe, yeah, we could have used in future, maybe use the take aim to get an opt off with our skullbone cross wrap. But hey, our tunic is back at 1, so we've corrected ourselves anyway, because we have so far had to pay 0 resources for anything that we have done. But 10, not small. threatening a ponder token, and just a big chunk of damage. Now, this is just a vanilla zero cost arrow without any aim counters, but 10 vanilla, well, 10 with an on hit, even. Olympia presenting 6 block, like a Japanese businessman presenting a business card, taking 4, allowing Lynette to grab herself a ponder. Don't forget your on hits. Yes, we've got our ponder. Drawing for ponder. Ponder goes straight to the arsenal. Drawing up. I believe those are those 3D printed tokens, Lynette. You'll have to let me know when you see this. And Olympia just sending the axe. He has to ask you a question. And we're going to refraction bolters to give it go again. And follow it up with an enlightened strike. Possibly for 7. God only knows. Because I imagine Olympia can draw some absolute poopers here. And he might just be better off threatening the big Numby. Yeah, 7. So an 11 damage turn here into Lynette, who immediately adjusts her life total. We don't care. It's vanilla 7. Looking for a 5-card hand in Azalea. Probably good. Opting with this. Not really a card you want in your arsenal. Not going to lie. Knock the death whistle. Much rather have it in play, have a different card in your arsenal, and more options. But we get to go dominate something like a red in the ledger. Don't even think that's the best option here. But how and ever. Card to arsenal from the reload. Bring the ledger into play thanks to Azalea. Get some dominate on. Release the tension. Again, no arsenal on John, so it is what it is. And red in the ledger being sent in here for 8 dominate. John cashing in the rest of that equipment. We're pitching an immobilizing shot for the privilege. Have to think John has a sink below or something. But Azalea's got a red in the ledger with a rain razors attached. So John is taking the 2 regardless. Taking 2 to 17. Sinking a card. So gets 1 action next turn. Not that this Olympia deck is built around multiple actions, but we have now stripped him of nearly all his armor. And that action is going to be standing order attack for 4. And just going to block it out here. And Olympia is upping the ante. So targeting the attack, giving it +3 up to 7 with 3 wagers. So all modes on Up the Ante are active. We're loading in a Remorseless here using Redliner, sending it in for 5. 5, some amount of on hits. I don't think, again, Olympia cares overly about this. Very quickly getting to the end of this, though, we have access to defense reactions from hand, but not from arsenal. So we're giving up our last piece of block here on the prized Galea. And meeting a fate foreseen. So 3 card hand, Azalea drawing up with a card in arsenal. We have an agility and we have a vigor. We're going to felling swing and then pitch. What are we pitching? Because that looks like we're over pitching. 10 from this decimator great axe. Oh baby, so much fun. Uh yeah. We remorseless trigger that probably won't matter in the long run by the looks of things. Thinking about throwing our we're throwing up our tunic for its whole 1 point of block value. Cross wrap for 1 point of block value. Been playing a lot of the game off Arsenal, so that doesn't surprise me. And throwing 6 block, so that is for 7 block, taking 3. And now we're back with Lynette. 4 card hand for Olympia. We get to Memorial Ground. Finally, we get to Memorial Ground. Our judge, jury, and executioner, which we get to throw straight in here using Azalea. Finally doing the thing. Has no aim counter, but we have the blue to give it an aim counter. So we're going to send in 5 dominate with a pretty impactful on hit. So John is only going to be able to keep 1 card, but fortunately for him, all he needs is 1 card to attack with the Great Axe. Blocking 3 with this standing order. And then discarding 2 cards. So discarding a Warmongers and a card I can't quite see because it's under the Warmongers. And then what have we got here? I imagine it is a blue that attacks for 4. Shocked. I am shocked that it is a blue that was held on to here. So we have 4 coming in. On his death, at least 1 card will need to go into blocking this. And we are blocking with a stone rain. So blocking two overall, taking two, going to one. One isn't zero. Ah, no. Lynette choosing to block with an extra card here, covering up two overall, covering up the entirety of the damage here. And drawing up. Now let's see what Lynette has to fire back. We have a Seek and Destroy, we have a Redliner, so we get to send 7 damage here with a Murkmire Grapnel, unpreventable. Now, John could very easily just take this and throw the cards back, but I imagine he is going to block out just a little bit at least. No need to not block here. We're getting towards what could probably be the end of the game with Lynette at 3. A decent sized axe will end the game very, very quickly. Something like a felling swing plus decimator is kind of all she wrote. And John has just decided, yeah, I'll take 7 because I'm about to crack back with a 4 card hand. And I'll take half my life because you're at 3. So we're going to crack a gold. Strange. Card's not good enough, apparently. Or do we just want to mess around here for a bit? Then we are going to edge ahead. So we get +3 and we get to wager. Then we are going to hold them for +3 and we get to wager. And then we get to attack for 9, 10 even. And we cannot block 10. We have, in fact, got 6 total worth of block, and one of that will be reduced to 1. So we have 5 total block, and the game will over with a big axe smashing right into Azalea's face. Okay. Um, kind of saw that writing on the wall on that one. Azalea doesn't really play great into super defensive fatiguey decks, and that is a super defensive fatiguey deck. Um, Not much more to say on that. Redliner is an interesting choice from Lynette. Normally the Sandscar enjoyer. I would love to know what brought that choice to the table. Is it just this build, or is it a sideboard package to try and run as lean as possible? Because you basically need 0 resources to run it. As for John, we've seen him do this multiple times. We've seen the Decimator Great Axe just. This is what it does. Anyone who has played the game knows this is what it does. It has a very, very strong game plan into decks that it feels it can fatigue. So, he 10's going to get you there in the end, especially if you're not feeling super threatened. You've got all the defense reactions in the world. You're fine. So well played, John. Congratulations on moving into 2-2. I think yourself and Lynette might be out of running for top 8, but I hope to see you in the next 2 rounds anyway, because it means nothing, right? And it's good to see not only off meta heroes, or not top tier heroes, but unique or weird builds of those heroes. If you have any questions for the net or for John, or if you have any comments about what your favorite heroes might be, make sure you like the video and comment down below. Let us know. All the interaction in the world. Love to see it. And after you're done doing those, make sure you subscribe so that you get all of the League That Means Nothing notifications from your YouTube, and you'll know every day when a new video goes up. For now, I have been your voice of the league, Ian Holland. Find us _spirit on Twitter, or find us spirit.bsky.social on Blue Sky. And I think I'm going to sign off for now, and I will see you in the next game.